foot passes for summer around here. Hope you didn't have to use your windshield wipers coming to our summer meeting. Now we can get started. Welcome, everyone. One thing I want to do this morning is something that I haven't done enough of, and that's give recognition for all the many people that work behind the scenes to make these docent meetings happen. The ever-reliable Ron Lima is somewhere. Is he left already? Oh, okay. He was here, set up everything, and then left. So we'll have to recognize him next time. He's someone that really works behind the scenes, back in the kitchen there. And without him, this meeting wouldn't happen, because I know we'd have a lot of grouchy people here. Also, the AV crew, which is really skimpy today. I'd like to thank them, but I'll thank both of them today. I guess there's only just the two of you. We got Roger Nolan and Duffy Johnson here today. Normally, I drive in and Paul Gallup's car is sitting there in the parking lot already, and I knew something was amiss when his car wasn't there when I drove in this morning. So, Paul Reps is here too. Yeah, Paul Reps is here. There he is. Here's how high Thank you, Paul. Treats, of course, we couldn't have a meeting without treats, and today's were brought by Dan Turner, Pauline Troya, Chris Miller, Nancy and Joseph Cotham, and Connie Dahlman. So thank you to all of them. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's quite a spread back there. On camera, behind the camera, is Bob Carlisle, so that we can see what's happening on the website. So thank you, Bob. And just to get ahead of myself a little bit, the chair stackers for today are Dick Klein, Paul Johnson, and his dear friend, Marcia Zellis, and Stella Rabo. Muscles Rabo. So, we often don't thank people who do behind-the-scenes work enough, and I just mentioned most of the people who aren't there, who aren't here today, who do the behind-the-scenes work for these meetings, but I'd just like everybody who has some kind of a job they do for the docent corps, not for the meetings, but for just every day, doing something as other than going out and interacting with the public and doing what docents do. If you have any kind of a job, a big job or a small job, stand up. Come on, there's more than that. I know there's more than that. Some people being too shy. See, the head of the photography group is sitting over there, and she doesn't consider that to be a job, but that's okay. Without all of these extra little things going on behind the scenes, we wouldn't be able to do our docent job nearly as well as we do. Let's see. I've always got this in big red letters. Devices, noise-making devices. I've already used my noise-making device, and I'm going to turn off my other one now. Since I'm reminding you, I guess it'd be a good form for me to turn off mine. Okay, let's see if I missed anybody. I don't think so. I think I want to start off. Melissa can't be here by the way today. She's going to miss this meeting, but she's asked Eric Abma, the sector superintendent, to give us a few words about something that's been in the paper recently.
So normally I don't like to stand behind podiums, but today I think it's going to be advantageous. I haven't seen any tomatoes out there, but just in case, I'm ready to duck and move. Yes, we've been greatly embarrassed in the past couple of weeks about scandals that have come out in our department. Whether it is the vacation payoffs of $270,000, that was very embarrassing. And then also the $54 million question. We've been checking everybody's pockets as they come in, and we haven't found it yet. But honestly, seriously, this has been it's been very embarrassing for our department. It's been very embarrassing for those of us who are just out here doing our job and trying to do serve the public the best we can. So just some of the details that we know, I wanted to share with you since you are part of this organization. Yes, what they've found is that we are not missing $54 million, but we didn't fully report $54 million that came in. So it's broken down into two different groups. There's the $33 million from the Off-Highway Vehicles Fund, and that's mostly gas tax money and green sticker money. That's all earmarked to go towards off-highway vehicle parks. So Hollister Hills, what's the one in Southern California, way down there? Ocotillo Wells. There's a handful of them. It's anyways, the other $21 million is what we call the State Parks and Recreation Fund, SPRF, and that's our money. That's state park money that directly funds our department. So what happened, as best we know, is the money came in, it wasn't accounted for, and while the controller's office knew about it, we didn't report it to finance. So it's unclear who knew. We know that at least one person knew, and he said he's since gone. He says he told the director. She says she doesn't know. So anyways, there are several investigations going on right now. Department of Finance is doing an investigation. The money is not gone. So the good news is nobody did anything wrong with the money. They just didn't tell everybody that we had it. So the one guy that knew has publicly said he knew about it, and told the director. Said it was a rainy day fund, that just in case it rained. As far as I know, it's been raining cats and dogs for the past 5 years. So I don't know. That just doesn't add up to me. But so the good news is that we have the money. It's not gone. And Jerry Brown has put a great spin on it. He said, "Yahoo! I mean, what are we complaining about? They are not overspending; they're saving money. So we have money we didn't know about it. It's a great spin, and I commend him for his political effort on it. But what's really embarrassing to us is that we have been begging and pleading for money from everybody and saying, okay, we're going to close parks. We can't fund parks. This, that, and the other thing. And that is what has really hurt us. We've had this money and haven't been truthful about it. So it's going to take us a while to restore the public confidence and faith and work with our partners. For instance, there's the Co-Preservation Fund at Henry Cove. They put up about $1 million over 3 years to keep Cove open. Well, now they find out we have $54 million just sitting around. They want their money back. And that's just one instance of what's going on throughout the state. I forget what the number of partnerships are up to, but there are quite a few partners that are not happy with our situation. So our director, Ruth Coleman, has stepped down. There's an interim director. It's not clear how long she's going to be here. I've heard a 3-month term, and they're looking for more of a park person to put in. But for now, she's our director. They've taken out a couple of the top people. She's brought her own team, and everything that we do goes through her. So all communications regarding money, partnerships, and the governor's initiatives are going through her office. She's been starting to communicate with the department recently, and hopefully we'll get some good leadership out of her, and we'll find a more long-term director here soon. What else can I say about that? The good news is that we have the money, and our department is going to put forward a proposal to the governor's office of how we spend it. And from what I've heard so far, we're looking at spending it over 3 years. And it's not going to be extra money, but it would replace the $11 million that we lost this year. So our budget would be much the same as it was last year. So we're still bare bones. We're still scraping by, but hopefully that's the proposal we put forward and it gets approved by the governor. So, moving on from that, unless there's any eggs, tomatoes, yes?
Will some closed parks be able to be reopened?
So far, there's only been one park closure, so no parks have closed. We've talked about in the Monterey District closing Coe, Medowski, Moss Landing, and Garrapatta, and Limekiln is now part of our district as well. So far, none of those parks have closed. There was an effort at the end of, a legislative effort to redirect some money to our department from roads money, gas tax money. So our budget got augmented $11 million, which is what we had lost. And in light of that, they decided not to close any parks for the short term. As we move forward, it's not clear if we're going to have to work on closures, especially with our partners pulling back a little bit, because that was a large part of it. We had partnerships working, and we had kind of made our budget whole.
Eric, is there anything in particular you'd like docents to tell the public about this?
The main thing is that, I mean, my sentiment, and I think our sentiment as a whole, is the parks are the same. We're just out there doing our best work. Point Lobos hasn't changed. It was limited, this whole thing was limited to a small amount of people up in our headquarters and our administrative office. So I think we can still hold our heads high and be proud of the work that we do in the parks that we represent. Yes?
Is that money going to relieve some pressure on the rangers and their assignments? Because that's where we've seen a large effect.
There's been a large effect throughout our department. We've been in a holding pattern for the past 3 years, it feels like. And we've had hiring freezes off and on. We still have vacant positions that hopefully we can fill. I'm hoping that with our new director, as we move forward, that we'll start making some decisions and letting people transfer around the state and hire. So that money doesn't help us get there, but I think just having some clear direction where our department's going will allow us to ease some of the pressure locally.
Would you like to say something about the general plan?
Yes, let's move on to the general plan. So the general plan is moving right along. If you don't know, we're doing a general plan effort for 4 parks. There's Point Lobos State Natural Reserve, the property across the street known as Point Lobos Ranch, Carmel River State Beach, and Hatton Canyon. Right now, we're still in we've had an initial public meeting, which is kind of a scoping. We're deciding how big is the plan, what are the issues that we need to deal with. We're still gathering existing conditions information. What are the natural resources that we have? What are what programs do we have in the parks? And what do we need to address? So we're still in that kind of information gathering mode, but we're getting close to the next phase. Let's see, we're still getting comment cards coming in to the general plan team. So there were a series of questions that we asked at the public meeting, and that card is available on our website. And people are still filling those out and sending them in. We have a small business card that is soliciting involvement. Pretty soon, I was told August 1 it would go up. There's going to be an online survey on the park's website for addressing the general plan. What's important to you? What should we do? How should these parks be used? What would you like to see? So any day now, we should have an online survey up. And to get there, you go to the parks website and you go to the planning division and you look for the Carmel Area General Plan. And there's a website there with all the information that we've given out, and there should be a link to an online survey. So I encourage you all, hopefully we'll get a communication out when that goes up. Go online, take a look at it, and do the survey. You've probably seen some of the little business cards that solicit that. Hopefully you're giving those out as you do walks and whatnot. As soon as the online survey is up, every car coming in the reserve is going to get one of those. I've been kind of holding off because there's not a whole lot for people there. But as soon as that's up, we're going to give them to every car coming in the gate. The next step is going to be working on the planning issues. So the next step is going to be deciding what alternative plans we are out there. So we'll come up with, say, 3 different plans. And that will be coming up in the fall or winter, late fall, early winter. We're going to have another public meeting where we look at the alternative, just developing the alternatives. So where is parking going to be? Is there going to be a visitor center here? Is there going to be, so that should be coming up, excuse me. And when it does, we'll get information out to the group about that. Once we get input on the different plans, then we will develop a preferred plan, and that will also go out to the public. So I'm sure that it's not entirely clear, the whole process. So if you are interested, here I've got a small sheet of paper that kind of outlines the process. I'll leave it up here on this table after we're done. Feel free to come take a look at it, and I'll explain it to you as best I can. Yes?
You said something about cards and handing them out if we go on walks. What's that about? Where are these cards?
So there are some small business cards that they just refer people to our website. And I gave a large stack of them to Melissa, and they should be available to all of you if you go on walks and people are interested. I'd love them to go out.
There's some at the info station.
Yes, okay, good. There's some.
They're there.
Good. Any more general plan questions? Okay.
Thank you, Eric.
My pleasure.
Okay. Eric's going to stand by and say a few words in a few minutes, but I want to say a couple of things first. When I joined this organization in the last century, since that time, I've heard over almost every year I've been here, some people have mentioned a very well-liked program that existed before I joined the docent corps here. It was called the Adopt a School program. And it was very well-liked. It kind of sound familiar to you, those of you who are involved, have been involved in the school outreach program. Docents went out to schools, they gave presentations in schools, and then the kids came on buses sponsored by the Point Lobos Natural History Association, the precursor to Point Lobos Foundation, to Point Lobos, and they were given walks. It was a very highly regarded program, but it ended when the person who directed it decided to leave, and there wasn't anybody willing to step up and do it. And everybody kept saying, gee, we ought to start that again. Oh, total agreement, oh, we ought to start that again. The only problem was that we didn't have anybody that stepped up and said, yeah, I'll direct that, I'll do that. Until a couple of years ago, Paul Mason stepped forward and said, and where are you, Paul? I saw you earlier. Could you come up here, please? Paul Mason said, I think I can do that. I've done something like that with the Art Museum, and I'll give it a try. Well, he didn't just give it a try. He put blood, sweat, and tears into it, and really got us going. And because of your work, Paul, and the work of the people that worked with you, there's some children in the Salinas Valley who saw the ocean probably for the first time, who discovered something about nature and possibly about themselves that's going to stay with them for a lifetime. And we're going to continue this program. Paul has decided that he needs to step down, but as a token of my esteem and my thanks, and the thanks of everybody that's worked with the school outreach program, for all the docents who can take pride in this program, and the PLF, and the people of the Monterey Peninsula, I would like to give you this little gift.
Okay, so I think everybody knows what the school outreach program Experiencing Point Lobos is about. But we want to recognize you, Paul, for doing such a great job. He chaired the committee, like Stan said, he put blood, sweat, and tears into this and has really put together a great program. It's in its second year. So far, we're looking at about 1,400 children annually coming through this program. And these are kids that would not see Point Lobos without this program. It's reached out to Salinas, schools in Salinas, Castroville, Prunedale, Watsonville, all charter or Title I schools, underserved communities. Just a personal note on this. I went to I know most of you aren't there yet, but my 20th high school reunion. You'll get there. It's interesting. And I was talking to a schoolmate of mine who was telling me that she was a teacher in Watsonville, and she said, well, what do you do? I said, well, I work for State Parks, and I'm down in Monterey. Point Lobos is our job. Oh, we got to go to Point Lobos. It was so amazing. The kids had such a great time. And it was through your work that you were able to reach out to the school in Watsonville and get these kids down to Point Lobos. So just a personal note, thank you for the work that you've done. And this is just directly in line with the mission of State Parks. And thank you for doing a good job and making us proud. Thank you. So, on behalf of the State Parks, we're giving you an award. It says, in recognition of significant personal commitment in furthering the mission and goals of California State Parks, Paul Mason is hereby honored as the recipient of the Exemplary Service Award for the development and implementation of our Experiencing Point Lobos School Outreach Program as the first program coordinator.
Before he says any more, I would like to invite class. Oh, you want to hear that too? I'm going to invite the current class, the new docents that just graduated. This is your first meeting since graduation. I'd like you all to come up here and be greeted by the rest of the docent corps. So come on up. And Pat, did you come up here too? Pat, you come? Oh, there comes Pat. Okay. I'm going to pop out and let Pat introduce everyone.
Oh, of course. Now, Stan.
I could probably do it, and then I might.
You can. Okay, I might embarrass myself too.
I'll help you out.
Okay. We have Harry Batlin, Roy Johnson,
Lane
Dawson. Thank you, Lane Dawson, Mary Leo Horton, Lorna Clairbath, Gail Griffin, Yolanda Hine, Chris Miller, Ron Adams, Tama Alver.
Do you remember me?
I don't remember you, Dan Turner. The also unknown Tom Clifton, Vicki Odello, Nancy and Joseph Cotton, and Marilyn Felix.
Well, congratulations, Pat. Remembering all of that. And congratulations and welcome to all of you. Welcome to the docent corps. I've seen many of you out on the trails a lot, and so, great. Love to have you here.
So Pat dearly wants to go back to her seat, but we're not going to let her yet. So I hope that at some point you get a chance to talk to some of the people, and I'm sure that you have, that just recently went through the docent program. The reason that I'm up here now is I want to recognize Pat for the outstanding work that she's done. So Pat has been working with the training program for the past 3 years. As a docent trainee, she put together, along with Kathy Petty, a plan to revise the docent training. A year after she went through, she got the chance to actually implement that. So, yes, we recognize when people have good ideas, and we try to put them to work when we can. So, Pat brought her teaching experience, and she developed a curriculum. She revamped material, and she just completely upgraded our program. There's more structure now. It's focused on how information is delivered. It's not all lecture. We get people out there. We mentor. She's done this for the past 3 years, and her program includes recruitment, a collaborative interview and selection process, which I got to be involved in, and it went very well. We had the great problem this year of having more people who wanted to docent for us than we could handle. One of the great things is that trainees now have a clear understanding when they start the program of what it is and what they're going to have to learn. There's only 24 hours of classroom time over 6 months, but they're expected to devote about 100 hours of time, of their personal time, to the training program. So the work that she did included developing material. She arranged special walks. She coordinated docent mentors and shadowing docents, and docent graduation. I don't know if there's enough I could say, Pat, about the great work that you've done and how strong I feel our program is. The other thing that she's done is that she mentored her replacement. That's something that we don't typically do well in state government. So thank you, Pat, for not only creating the job, but also finding your replacement. So, on behalf of State Parks, I'd like to present this award to Pat. It says, Monterey District, Pat Sinclair is hereby acknowledged and honored on the 4th day of August 2012 as a recipient of Monterey District's Superior Training Achievement Award in recognition of significant personal commitment in the improvement of the docent training program in furthering the mission and goals of California State Parks. And it's signed by Matt Fusey.
Thank you. But number two, this is not Pat Sinclair. This is such a collaborative effort, starting with Kathy and all of the rest of the training team for a couple of years, and that's why we have an amazing team for next year. So, thank you very much.
While we're on that subject, I just want to introduce the leader of that amazing team, Marie Murphy. Murphy, I saw you jump up earlier. Could you come up and introduce the rest of your team?
Hi, I'm Marie Murphy, and I am from the class of 33. And sometime, about August or September last year, I told Pat that I would be glad to help with the new training of class 34. And now I'm the leader of class 34. So I still haven't put together how that happened, but I'm very happy to be doing this. It's a wonderful experience to meet the trainees, to get to know them personally. So I'm really looking forward to our next class of 35. Excuse me. I'm really appreciative of some of my class 34 training team members who are going to be joining me to train class 35. So Duffy Johnson, who yesterday at a meeting helped us turn on the lights, will be our technology person. Deborah Jew is going to remain on the training team, and she will be our mentor coordinator. Who am I missing here? Deborah, Duffy, Jen, Gail, and Gail. But Jen is from class 33, and she had expressed an interest in being part of the team. So she is moving on, and she will be part of the training from class 34. And Gail Griffin, who is a recent graduate, you have just been introduced to her as a new docent. She is going to join us and round out our 5-member team. So we will be the ones who are doing some planning, but as with all the past trainings, so many of you have helped us with your expertise and your behind-the-scenes help. So thank you, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marie, for being willing to take on that job. I'm sure Pat told you there's really nothing to it. Just a few quick announcements, just in case you happen to be worried, because Paul's stepping down from that job. Whether it will continue, and the answer I'm glad to be able to tell you is yes, it will. Greg Margosian has been willing to take on carrying the program forward from here for at least for a year. I don't know if we're going to have anybody last more than a year in that job. We're going to figure out a way to make it not quite as onerous as it's been. A couple other quick announcements. There are some easy access experiences coming up on Thursday and next Saturday. Barbara Grace didn't feel competent to give an announcement today because of her binging last night or whatever it was. but they're from 1 to 3, is that correct? 1 to 3 on August 9th, and I think we have a full complement of people to staff that. Is that right?
We could use more people.
You could still use more
Saturday
people.
one.
On the Saturday one, okay. Melissa has put these on the activity calendar on the website, so you can sign up. If you're available, there's a limit on the number we can use, and that's all taken care of by the activity calendar. Celia has asked me to announce that the August 20th deadline for entering the photo contest at the Carmel Art Institute is coming up. So if you haven't heard about that, you can go on their website and learn all about it. It's all about Point Lobos, and so it's a worthwhile thing to enter. I've also been asked by Paul Reps to just say, be careful with the scopes and the binoculars. We've had some breakage of not all caused by docents, but just when you're giving them out to visitors, the binoculars out to visitors, ask them to be careful. They are high, they're come dearly at a dear price. We had one scope, $1,000 scope, that got broken off at a very uncomfortable place. And so we need to be cognizant that these things are not like a rugby ball. You know, they need to be handled especially. We have a situation at the info station on Monday from 1 to 3. The person who was supposed to fill that job said he couldn't do it, and for one reason or another, which we have to look into, has been unwilling to find his own substitute. And he's not here today. I just want you to let you know that that's not acceptable. Just remember that if you have to get out of a job, you know, on the last notice, unless there's a family emergency or something like that, you should get your own substitute and then inform the scheduler about that. That applies, of course, to Whalers Cabin as well. But so 1 to 3 on Monday, if anyone can do that. Okay, yeah, I can sign you up before the meeting is over if you like, or I'll let you get out of here before Okay, great, thank you. The last thing on the announcements, I think, oh no, there's one more from that Dick Klein asked me to, should you want me to just mention it?
You can.
Okay. Visitor drove up a day or two ago at Info, big old fancy car saying, I want a public walk and I'm willing to pay for it. It was not a good time to do that because the parking lot was full and there was no docent standing around waiting to give a public walk. And so he made a deal with this gentleman that if he shows up at 9 o'clock on Monday, we'll have somebody there to lead a walk. So money goes to the PLF. But it would be appropriate if you're willing to do that. Apparently there's like 8 people, including some small kids. So, small kids? You want to do that?
I got the cell phone
I know.
number, and so.
But is he a Texan? Is the question.
From him.
Okay. Pardon me?
You already have somebody to do it?
No, I don't think so. Okay, Rick will do it. Okay, good. Rick Klein?
Yeah, see me
Rick
after,
Pettit.
I've got his cell phone number, so you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Boy. And you can handle the donation part any way you want. Spence Myers wanted to say something about walks. Make sure that's on.
Oh, yes. Okay, so very briefly, I'm really proud of this group. By the way, how many other groups have you belonged to that you ask for a volunteer, hands go up, and then you actually do it? So good for you guys. So anyway, public walks, last month, we had every day filled, some days, twice. So good for you. August, we already have every day filled except for 3 very user-friendly, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So jump on it. And then very briefly, I've been having a lot of fun recently with the poetry group, Right On Point. And I commend that to you if you have any interest. It's a lot of fun. We have some very good poets that have some profound thoughts they put down. No, really. Beautiful words about the beauty of Point Lobos. And recently it's been very whimsical because poets, put your hands up if you belong to this group, please. Yeah. So, who was it, you guys, that started this Trentopolia?
Rick.
Rick. Was it Rick? Okay, so about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Rick said, you know what? We have common names for, things like globe lily, you can remember, western blackberry, and, California lilac. But when you come around the corner, you get to Trentopolia. And people say, what is that again? What? And then they say, boy, it's really harming the trees, right? And you tell them, no, it's really not. And they look at you and they say, God, what does this guy know? This is some alien space invader from Krypton or something. So some of us have been firing back and forth some whimsical thoughts about it. I'll just give you a brief in mind so you can use this if you want to. I might be misquoting myself, but this tree looks ill, I thought. And still, the botanists agree that though the tree looks sickly now, it's only fooling me. This orange stuff appearing rough upon the cypress bough is really not a toxic thing. So, are you happy now? And orange, you glad you saw it?
Okay, I'd like to invite, for a refresher today, Janet Beatty is going to tell us a little bit about what's going on at Whalers Cabin, or what's going to go on at Whalers Cabin. And after that, take a look at that clock, see what time it is, and then be back 15 minutes after that. On the dot, because we have our speaker.
I need a mic. Hi, I'm Janet. For those of you that don't know me, I've been a docent for about 5.5 years now. And I'm really aware of the shoes I'm stepping into. So I wanted to thank Carol Bonner for all her mentoring and all her help the last few months. Stan took a little bit of my Bravo away. I was going to introduce our committee. I don't know if you know, we have a Whalers Cabin committee that on a regular basis do maintenance, cleaning, laundry, and picking up of donations. And those are Kevin Shabram, Pat Bova, Ron Lima, Pat Olson, and so I just wanted to give them a welcome and an appreciation. And of course, I can't not mention Kurt Loesch, who has sent me a nice welcoming email this week, and I want to thank him for his offer of any assistance that I would ever need. So thank you, Kurt. And we're looking for a few good docents. If anybody else would like to join us, please let me know. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. I hope you've all heard that this isn't a surprise, but the cabin is closing on September 4th. We're going to be finally getting to, I guess, this roofing project that's been going on, or promised to be going on for several years. On that day, on the 4th, myself, Carol, and Augie Lewis, who is with the PLF, and is the project manager of the project, and Chris Quist, I have a hard time saying that one fast, who is the Monterey District Curator for all the museums. We're going to be packing up the museum, all the artifacts, and storing and covering and taking as best care of them as we can, along with the assistance of Cardinelli Moving and Storage. So it's not just going to be Carol and I doing the packing, thankfully. And then on the 5th, the roofers will actually come in and begin their process of removing the old shakes and checking the skip sheathing underneath for assessment as to whether it needs to be replaced or whether it's good to go. Do whatever roofers do, put on the new roof, which is shakes that are redwood, that have been fire treated and specially handmade for us by an artisan in Canada. So we hope they're just beautiful. Then we expect that process to be maybe two weeks or so. And after that's finished, then we're going to be painting the internal ceiling of the cabin and preparing to reopen again. At this time, Augie has not been able to get permission to do the termiting for, tinting it and doing termiting. So, but Kurt sent him an email just yesterday or Thursday with a new lead for somebody that might have ideas about that. So that may still come
I have an
through.
update on that. I just heard from Kurt this morning that he does now have permission to do the termite work.
So that will be done as well. So we will be termiting while the cabin is closed. And then we hope by October 1st to reopen and have our beautiful new roof. So those of you that are working Labor Day weekend, please do work your shifts. We will be open the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. On the 4th, we will close. If you had signed up previously for a shift, or if you have a permanent shift, you will receive your 2 hours time. You just sign up for that online like normal. But we encourage you to go out and do something else. Take a walk, take a scope. We will be moving the scopes from the cabin up to the Docent Center so you can check them out there if you'd want to go down to the cove and take a scope with you. So that's it.
Access to Waiters Cove parking during that 2-week construction period.
It'll
Pardon?
remain open.
Oh, excuse me, it'll be open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
What about the bats? What's gonna happen to the bats?
We're hoping that at the first sound of noise, they'll just fly off for a little while before they come back. We have waited till September so that they will be out of their nesting season. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. In honor of the problem we've had with the optics, the binoculars, and telescopes, we're not having a break today. We're having an intermission. So please come back. Intermission in 15 minutes.